It's about uplifting a group of people who society is saying you need to go sit down in a corner somewhere. But let's get it straight, women. Let's get it straight, men. After the age of 30, that's not the time to go and sit down in the corner. That's the time to step up, stand tall, and say, hey, I'm about to do something great. Hello everyone, I'm Jfaironair. I am 30 plus and counting my blessings, counting my way to better health and more wealth. If you have similar interests, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also rate, comment, and share my videos. Today I want to talk to you about the name change of my channel. For the past years since I've been on YouTube, the name of my channel has been Jfaironair, which is the social media handle that I have had for quite some time. But as I transition into something that I want to reach a wider audience, I also want to be able to help people over the age of 30 who haven't settled into what it is they believe they're supposed to be doing. I changed the channel to 30 plus and counting because I want to draw in that crowd and also be able to offer information and resources to them that will help them along on their journey. So to understand the idea behind 30 plus and counting, you have to know a little bit about my backstory as to why I chose to start this channel and take it into the direction that I'm going to be taking it in within the next few weeks and months. So I worked in media for the majority of my 20s, and towards the end of my 20s I felt like I wanted to transition into something else, but I knew I wanted to go back to school, but I didn't know exactly how I was going to do that. I hadn't been in school since I had graduated college, and so just the idea of taking the test, just the idea of transitioning out of a career that I thought I really wanted into something where, you know, I have to start all over again. But when I turned 30, that was the last year of me working in broadcast media. And so when I turned 30, I moved back home because there were some family issues going on and I was able to help there. But that time also gave me a chance to breathe, a chance to regroup and say, okay, you know you want to go back to school. How can you do that? So during that time, I was offered a position at a university in a city that I worked at, and that position was also in media. It was on camera as well, and it was off camera, working behind the scenes. I worked there for 3 years, but the blessing in that job was that it allowed me to go to school for free. So while I was working there, I was able to go to school for free, but I was commuting an hour and a half each time, both ways each time I went to school. So that became a very tedious journey, and it was just something that was overwhelming for me in addition to the job. So once again, I was in a conundrum where I had to figure out, how am I going to do this? How am I going to start over again? So I left that job and I moved back home. And during that time that I moved back home, it was just 2 months because I knew I was going to be starting a position in January. So I moved back home, and during this time, I was able to spend with my grandmother. My grandmother is home for me. Her home is home. It had been home since I was a teenager, so I was able to spend that time with her. And when I moved in January to start a new position, she passed away in February. So sometimes you might not understand why you're going through things, why your journey is taking certain directions, but there's always some type of blessing in it. So the way I look at it is, I had 2 solid months to spend with my grandmother. I had 2 solid months to also get physical therapy because I had also been in an accident, and I can go back and forth to the doctor and all of those things. So once again, in January, I was starting over, 30 plus and counting. And you know, once you turn 30, especially women, society puts this stigma on us that our biological clock is counting. But our biological clock isn't the only thing that at the age of 30 you're thinking about. You're also thinking about, is this the career I want to go in? How am I going to get my finances together? I need to get it together by this age. So here I am, 30 plus and counting. In the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be starting a series 30 Plus and Counting, of course, where every Sunday I'm going to have an inspirational story, whether it be someone who's over the age of 30 and they're deciding to go back to school, whether it be someone who's over the age of 30 and they're deciding, okay, well, I know I need to get life insurance, but how do I do that? All of these stories that are out there of people who are over the age of 30 who are just starting to figure out, okay, I need to get it together. And I would like to share those stories because I know those stories can help so many of you out there. So if you are already someone who is a part of the 30 Plus and Counting community here on my channel, and you know someone who is doing something exceptionally well after the age of 30, whether it be starting a business, whether it be going back to school, whether it be just being a super mom, a super woman, a super guy, any of that you believe can inspire someone else, reach out to me. Drop information down in the comment box so that I can reach out to these people. I would love to tell these stories. This is what 30 Plus and Counting is about. It's about uplifting a group of people who society is saying you need to go sit down in a corner somewhere. But let's get it straight, women. Let's get it straight, men. After the age of 30, that's not the time to go and sit down in the corner. That's the time to step up, stand tall, and say, hey, I'm about to do something great. Now, that's what I want 30 Plus and Counting to be. So every week I'll be bringing you content relating to myself, whether it be focusing on my weight loss journey, whether it be focusing on mental health, whether it be focusing on just clothing and all of the things that I'm interested in. Those are the things that I'll bring you, the type of content that I'll bring you throughout the week when it pertains to myself. But each Sunday I will be bringing you some content that is meant to inspire and spark something within each and every one of you out there, especially that 30 plus crowd who is on a mission to really try and get it right. So with that said, I'm Jfaironair and I am 30 Plus and Counting. If you are already a member of the 30 Plus and Counting community here on my channel, don't forget to rate and comment. And for those of you who are just joining me, go ahead and subscribe. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.